Already. Do you know what day it is today?
Friday? Just kidding. Isn't it National Dessert Day?
Yes, it is. So, Jacob, what are your plans for later today?
Honestly, Heidi, I'm thinking about going to the bakery down the street after this to celebrate. Want to join?
For goodness cake, I thought you'd never ask. Of course, I would love to. Desserts are my favorite type of food in this entire world. What's your favorite type of dessert if you only have to choose one?
Well...
Okay, well, we'll let him think in peace. I'm gonna get the show started. I'm Heidi.
Oh, and I'm Jacob.
Welcome to Show 5.
Don't forget, Apaches, we have a collaboration day on October 20th. If you don't want to stay till 3:30, make sure to tell your parents.
For the past few years, our very own Anita Park has been under fire for the continuous deaths of horses. Animal lovers have been outraged and confused as to why these race horses keep dying. So Amish and Maryam dug deep, and here's the inside scoop.
Santa Anita Park has been under scrutiny for the past few years due to their numerous horse deaths, so much so that Governor Newsom had to appoint a brand new head to the California Horse Racing Board. We investigated to see why these deaths were occurring and if they were due to mistreatment.
On May 15th, 2022, a 4-year-old colt died at Santa Anita Park. This caused outrage because that was the third horse death that week. We had scheduled an interview with the racetrack, but then they asked us which topics we'd be covering, and we mentioned horse deaths, and they immediately canceled. Here is former Santa Anita Park jockey Adrian Valenzuela to give his take.
Any mishaps are being dealt with, immediately, and recently the racing there has been very good and very healthy for the horses.
But this has been a continued trend at the racetrack. In 2019, 37 horses died, and that same year sparked an L.A. County District Attorney investigation. I talked to fellow senior and horse trainer Elena Longo about the treatment of horses.
There is abuse that goes into it. I think it's the industry as a whole, and there are some other trainers, so like abuse or neglect, mistreat their horses, and that just goes to show that they only care about the money in the sport. There should be more rules and regulations in the horse racing industry, because I feel like a lot of it's kind of ignored, and so that's why a lot of these trainers, they get away with drugging their horses.
During the height of the horse deaths, renowned UC Davis equine health expert Dr. Greg Ferrero was picked by Governor Newsom to serve as the chairman of the California Horse Racing Board. We talked to Dr. Ferrero about what implementations he has applied to improve the horse deaths.
The biggest two things we've done is one is to get the medication out of racing. That's made a big difference because we're able to assess and evaluate the horses much better. The second thing is we put many eyes on the horses. We have people watching horses train in the morning, independent people. We have increased the veterinary staff and working with the private practitioners and the official veterinarians. Over the past 2 years, we've decreased the injury rate in California by 68%. We just completed the Del Mar race meets, 7 weeks of racing in Del Mar with no serious injuries either in racing or training. So that's a feat that's never been accomplished before.
In 2021, 19 horses died, which is much better than the 37 in 2019, but there is still room for improvement.
Thank you, Dr. Ferrero, Mr. Valenzuela, and everyone else who helped with this story. Back to Heidi and Jacob in the studio.
Link Crew is hosting a lanyard fundraiser from October 17th to the 21st. This is a once-a-year fundraiser, so don't miss out, Apaches. Come support our own Apache leadership team and buy a $6 lanyard from any Link Crew leader. For all our music-loving Apaches, we have some good news. Our renowned Arcadia High School Orchestra is performing alongside First Avenue, Dana, and Foothills Middle School orchestras at our annual Fall-Spring concert. This event will be held tonight at 7 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center.
As the weather finally reaches more reasonable temperatures, it's the perfect time to head outdoors and touch some grass. Here's Rocco with the continuation of 66 Faces' Gabellino Trail.
Last time you tuned in, we had just arrived at the Gold Mesa Trail Camp, which marked the halfway point to the elusive Brown Mountain Dam. This trail camp has a lot to offer for its relatively remote location. There's plenty of space for you to pitch tents, as well as several designated fire pits for all of your heat-related needs. In addition to the nearby foliage, the camp does have a dedicated toilet, which is always open should you need it. The Arroyo Seco passes right next to the trail camp, with this concrete structure in particular being the home to what seem to be Californian tree frogs. These frogs, however, are not the only wildlife in the area. In the process of filming the rest of the trail up to Brown Mountain Dam, we encountered a pretty sizable bear. An encounter with a bear on the Arroliga Trail is relatively common, so it's important to know what to do in this situation. The Los Angeles National Forest Service gives advice for 2 scenarios. If you're in the campground, be sure not to run. Do not make aggressive moves towards the bear. Stand tall and make noise to scare the bear away. Loudly bang pots and pans together and shout. If you are on the trail, stay calm and quiet and slowly back away. If the bear does, however, approach you, make sure to appear as large as possible, make noise, and yell. The average adult bear can run up to 30 miles per hour. For reference, Usain Bolt's highest recorded speed was a little under 28 miles per hour. This clear and present danger prevented us from proceeding any further than this sign, leaving the site of Brown Mountain Dam's waterfall for you to experience for yourself.
If you still haven't done your swim test, make sure to head to the pool after school on October 20th. Bring your school IDs and swim trunks. Good luck, Apaches.
A lot of new movies are coming out recently. Horror films are my personal favorite. Oh, have you watched Smile?
I actually haven't had the chance to yet, but I've seen those creepy ads where random people were just smiling. Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh, that was intense. That guy scares me.
No kidding. Let's head to Afiq for his thoughts to the new movie, Smile.
Hey Apaches, this last weekend I went and watched the new hit movie Smile, and here's my honest review on it. Smile is a horror movie based on a psychiatrist named Rose who experiences an illness that can only be transmitted through the witness of a suicide. After witnessing her patient brutally ending her life and being traumatized, she then experiences the same symptoms as her now deceased patient and starts hallucinating like never before, and no one will believe her. I personally believe that this movie was not worth the hype at all and generally just not scary. The jumpscares weren't all that, and the ending was complete garbage as it was super predictable what was going to happen, and the sound effects are just maxed out, high-pitched screams. The movie was terrible. I believe that the whole movie is just plain and boring. However, the overall movie's message was super lighthearted and helped keep the audience at the feeling of facing your fears and not letting go. The movie had some funny jokes to keep the audience at ease at times, and overall the cinematography was beautiful and the jumpscares were unaccepted and had me on my toes. I rate this movie a solid 3 smiles out of 5. Back to Heidi and Jacob.
Have you seen a Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix? It's been really popular lately.
As a matter of fact, I have. It's a really creepy show.
Well, I thought it wasn't that scary.
Okay, well, I had the lights off.
That's a cookie mistake.
You're not as sweet as you look. I had to close my eyes a few times. Anyways, let's get into this week's Ask the Apaches and find out what our Apaches have been watching.
Jeffrey Dahmer on my account.
Better Call Saul.
Dahmer. I'm watching The Parent Trap.
I would say for a movie-wise, I would say the new Minions movie.
Big Time
Currently,
Rush.
definitely a Jeffrey Dahmer.
I feel you.
I'm watching Dahmer, My Little Pony.
Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Jeffrey Dahmer.
White Lotus.
I'm watching the B movie.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Breaking Bad.
I'm watching the new Jeffrey Dahmer.
Gilmore Girls.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nothing.
Barney.
Barnyard.
I've been watching Jeffrey Dahmer show.
I just watched Smile.
Ugh, it's Halloween and I'm so bored.
Well, lucky for you, Arcadia Pep is doing their very own haunted house right here at Arcadia.
Wow, that sounds so fun. I can't wait to go with all my friends.
Hello, today is your last day to buy pre-sale tickets. Just ask any Pep member, you can. Also buy tickets online or at the door. The haunted house is on October 21st and October 22nd. I will be seeing you there. Bring your friends to the haunted house. Bring them, bring them, bring them.
Man, our Apache sports teams are working pretty hard, aren't they?
Yeah, their hard work is definitely paying off. Our volleyball, tennis, and water polo teams are crushing the competition right now. I'm kind of becoming a sports guy.
So did you go to the football game yesterday?
I couldn't. I was at home doing my AP calculus homework.
That's sad. Luckily, we streamed it, wink wink. In case you guys also missed sports this week, like Jacob here, let's send it over to Karthik.
Thanks guys. With our Apache fall sports nearing the end of their seasons, our teams are working hard to finish their last couple of games with some wins. Our girls volleyball team had their last home game of the season on Monday. Let's go to Rahul with the recap of the game.
Thanks, Karthik. Our girls volleyball team just had a wonderful senior night game. Coming off of a 3-2 win against Burroughs, they were definitely looking to end off their last home game with a bang, and they did just that. Our Apaches and the fans wore pink for the game in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The first set was neck and neck, but our Apaches held the lead till the end, winning the set with a score of 25-19. Glendale fought back in the second set in a close battle, eventually taking the second set, ending with a score of 25-23, tying the game. The Apaches were not looking to concede, however, and fought back hard, winning the next two sets, ending the game with a final score of 3-1. That was a crazy game played by our Apaches, and we're definitely looking to see more in the near future. Be sure to watch out for our Apaches as they play their first CIF game next Tuesday. This has been Rahul, back to Karthik in the studio.
Another team that has been on a roll recently is water polo. They've been fighting hard to keep their exceptionally high standing in the Pacific League. This past Tuesday, they had an exciting game against Glendale. Here's Ronan with how it went.
Thanks, Karthik. Our boys' water polo team has also been doing great so far this season. Now, let's take a look at how they did this Tuesday against Glendale. Apart from a tough loss against Burbank, the water polo team hasn't lost once in the Pacific League. Throughout the game, Arcadia played hard to stay in the lead and didn't give Glendale a chance to catch up. The Apaches worked hard and eventually ended the game with a final score of 12-5. A truly astonishing feat. Great work out there, Apaches. We're very proud to see our team's unmatched skill in the water. Now, let's head back to Karthik for other updates on the other sports.
Before we end off sports this week, let's highlight our other amazing sports teams that played. On Tuesday, girls tennis beat Pasadena 18-0. Yesterday, water polo beat Burroughs 16-11. Tennis beat Glendale 18-0, and volleyball lost to Crescenta Valley 2-3. And lastly, football lost to Pasadena 7-51. Our Apaches are certainly one of the best around, and we hope all of our sports teams keep up the good work. This has been Karthik reporting sports for the week. Back to Jacob and Heidi.
So Jacob, have you decided what you want to get for dessert?
Actually, after all the time thinking about it, I'm going to be getting tiramisu. I heard some people don't like the taste of tiramisu.
I mean, it's probably just the coffee taste.
I bet it is. Anyways, Heidi, today's show was so sweet. Thanks for putting up with me today.
No problem, Jacob. You're fantastic.
Thanks for tuning in for another week, Apaches. Make sure to check out our socials down below. This has been Jacob.
And this has been Heidi. See y'all next Friday.
Yeah, wait.